I've been using prescription tretinoin since I was 27 years old. I'm 52 now, so that is 25 years of use. Here I am, 100% makeup free, so you can check out my skin and see what it looks like. If you'd like to learn all about tretinoin, along with how I use it, where I get it, and more, we're getting into it right now. Today I'm going to give you my top anti-aging skincare tip. But before we get into that, in case you're new, hi, I'm Nicole. Welcome to my channel. Here I'll be giving you my top anti-aging skincare tips, makeup reviews, and some other cool things that I come across in life. I'd love if you hit that subscribe button and gave this video a like. By the way, I'm not a medical professional of any sort, and what I'm telling you is my personal experience. 25 years ago, I was the dermatologist for a mold check. I have the moles on my body checked about every couple of years just to make sure nothing is getting weird or cancerous or something like that. So I'm there in San Jose at the dermatologist's office, and near the end of my appointment, the dermatologist suddenly whips out his passport and goes, "Look at my picture." And I'm like, okay, weird, but sure. I'm like, yeah. Great picture. You know, what's he doing? And then he goes, "Don't I look the same?" And so I look, and I'm like, yeah, you do look the same. And he says, "That was taken 10 years ago." And I said, wow, well, what have you been doing? And he attributed the great state of his skin to two different products. And one of them is C&E Ferulic. C serums are awesome, but that'll be a whole nother video. I don't think they're as heavy of a hitter as Tretinoin, which is the other thing that he told me about. Back then it was Retin-A or Renova were kind of the name brands. Now it's just, generic Tretinoin is the same thing. And he said he'd been using it and his skin stayed the same. So I was like, okay, what is this wondrous stuff? I must have some. And I bought it right then on the spot. He sold it at his office, and that's how my Tretinoin journey began. And I've used it pretty much nonstop ever since, unless I was pregnant, nursing, or you do need to stop it the week before you have an eyebrow wax, because if you have an eyebrow wax and you haven't stopped, because the way it works, you can kind of pull off a layer of your skin with it, and it is not comfortable. Most people who do waxing will ask you if you're on any sort of tretinoin before they do it, because they'll pretty much just say, come back another time if you have used it, within a week of your waxing appointment. If you have your brows or your upper lip or whatever threaded, you are totally good to not get off your tretinoin, because that's a totally different process. It's just the waxing that pulls that layer of skin off. Oh, and if you do accidentally have the waxing done and you haven't been off your tretinoin long enough, it does go away. It just looks kind of funky for a while. Your skin looks really weirdly shiny, and then it kind of peels a little bit, and it eventually comes back. I've had it happen to me a couple times over the years where I have just completely spaced, or it hadn't actually been an entire week and I miscalculated. So, it ends up being okay, but it's just kind of painful for a minute there, very stingy, and then looks weird for about 3 or 4 days. Oh, a couple other little things you should probably know. You do need to wear sunscreen daily if you're on tretinoin, because it will make your skin more sun sensitive, and for some people it's worse than others, so just please make sure to use it. Don't forget to watch till the end of this video so I can show you my passport pictures from 20 and 10 years ago. So I've been really happy with what my skin looks like after 25 years of use, but it was really interesting. A few times I've gotten my husband to use it. He's a guy, he ends up not ever really sticking to the routine longer than 2 to 6 months kind of a thing, but I'll never forget the first time he used it. One of his male friends actually said to him after a month something like, "You look really well rested or more relaxed," or something like that. And it was just that his skin just looked plumper, more vibrant, healthier. And then the longer he stays on it, you'll just see some fine lines diminish. And the time he was on it for about 6 months, even some of the darker spots he had started to fade. So I've seen it real life on him. Also interesting, one time I was talking to a friend and her husband was around, and somehow, I was talking about the skincare, and in the end I gave him kind of a list of things that he could use that I thought would be a good idea for him to try, because he was already, well into his 50s, but he really wasn't happy with how his skin looked, and so he started using kind of the routine I put together for him, and he's been really, really happy with it. So men, this works for you too. My husband and this other gentleman really had great results, and ladies, let the guys in your life know if they're not happy with their skin, they can do things too. It's not just us. In this video, along with telling you all about tretinoin, we'll look at some clinical case studies and how long it's supposed to take until you see a result. I'll also be telling you how I get my current formulation of tretinoin through Apostrophe, an affordable online dermatology provider where you can get a diagnosis from a board-certified dermatologist within 24 hours. It's really cool. You do it all online, just upload some pictures of yourself, and they even deliver your prescription to you. So you don't ever have to go to a doctor's office and you don't have to ever go to a pharmacy. It's fabulous. I've really been loving this service and I'm really happy that Apostrophe is partnering with me on this video. So here's the scoop on Tretinoin. It was patented in 1957 and approved for medical use in 1962. In case you don't know, retinol, which you might see in some department store and drugstore creams and formulas, that is a less potent form of tretinoin, and that's why I always go for the prescription tretinoin. It's kind of like, why spend all that money on something that doesn't give you as much bang for your buck? Because tretinoin is a prescription drug, you do need to get a prescription for it from a doctor. So I found a New York Times article about tretinoin, and I wanted to read a little bit of it because I thought it was really interesting. So in it, Dr. John J. Voorhees, the chairman of the dermatology department at the medical school of the University of Michigan, says, "To my knowledge, this is the only drug for which there has been crystal clear demonstration that it works on a molecular level." It goes on to say that prescription Retin-A first became popular as an acne treatment, but doctors and patients soon noticed another benefit, one with enormous impact on those who are looking for a way to keep skin vibrant and smooth. It finishes up by saying that Retin-A users, again, Retin-A is just a brand name for tretinoin, just like Renova was or is still around. Retin-A users reported improvements in skin texture, including diminished wrinkles and brown spots, and early studies soon confirmed its anti-aging effects. In 1988, Dr. Voorhees and his colleagues at Michigan published the first double-blind study of Retin-A's effect on photodamaged skin and found that all 30 patients who completed the 16-week study showed statistically significant improvement. A bit more on tretinoin. Now, this information is from medicine.net. It says tretinoin is a derivative of vitamin A. It's used on the skin topically in the treatment of mild to moderate acne and on skin that has been damaged by excessive exposure to the sun. They say that the way it works is that tretinoin irritates the skin and causes the cells of the skin to grow, divide, and die more rapidly, increasing the turnover of cells. The number of layers of cells in the skin is actually reduced. In patients with acne, new cells replace the cells of existing pimples, and the rapid turnover of cells prevents new pimples from forming. By a similar mechanism, tretinoin can reduce some wrinkles, areas of darkened skin, hyperpigmentation, and rough areas of skin, all which occur in sun-damaged skin. Now, in case you're wondering how long it takes for it to work, per medicine.net, in patients with sun-damaged skin, improvements in the skin are usually seen within the first 3 to 4 weeks of treatment. Brown spots begin to fade after 6 to 8 weeks, and wrinkles decrease or disappear in 3 to 6 months. I've also read in many places that tretinoin will increase the production of collagen in your skin. Tretinoin comes in a variety of percentages. I started at the 0.2%, so 0.2%, and I started out by using it kind of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I got to where I was using it every other day, and eventually till I got to using it every single day of the week. And then after about 6 months, I switched to the 0.5%, which I was on for years and years and years, probably at least a decade, before I started working the 1% into my routine. I never had any of the redness or peeling that a lot of people do get. Apparently from what I read about, if you do get that, as you continue use, after you get past that 2 or 3 week initial part, as you keep using it, that does go away. Your skin does get used to it. But for some people, maybe it doesn't work, but overall, most people seem to get through that kind of peely stage. The way I use it, I first cleanse my face in the evening. I always wash my face before I go to bed. I've never in my life gone to bed with makeup on my face. And even if you don't wear makeup, you should still wash your face to get, the day's dirts and oils and, things floating in the air off of you, so you're not just grinding those into your pillowcase all night long, because that's not good for anybody's skin. So then what I'll do is I'll apply, an essence, my nightly serum that I'm using at the time, and then I'll take a pea-sized bit of the tretinoin. Right now, the way I'm getting it through Apostrophe, it comes in a nice little pump container, so that makes measuring it out easy. Then I'll just kind of rub it between my fingers like this, and then I will work it all over my face. I don't get super close to my eyes. I go to, about here, because I figure when I'm putting my moisturizer on top afterwards in my eye cream, I kind of will work it up higher. I don't kind of put the full strength up there. You just be careful not to get in your eyes. And then after I put on my eye cream and moisturizer, I like to finish things off, because I've got super dry skin, with a good quality oil. I'll just go ahead and rub that in, and I kind of give myself a little, mini spa facial before I go to bed every night. The tretinoin that I'm using now is actually better than what I was using for all of those years, because what I'm using now is a proprietary formulation from Apostrophe that's a combination combination of tretinoin and niacinamide. Now mine is 1% tretinoin and 4% niacinamide, and they would adjust that tretinoin. I mean, if you're someone who's never used tretinoin, you would obviously start at a far lower percentage with the tretinoin, versus, where I'm at because I've been using it, forever and a day. The formulation is fragrance-free, it's hypoallergenic, and it's emollient based. So let me give you the rundown on niacinamide now. It is a water-soluble vitamin that works with the natural substances in your skin to help visibly minimize enlarged pores, tighten lax pores, improve uneven skin tone, soften lines and wrinkles, diminish dullness, strengthen a weakened surface, and reduce redness. For me, having niacinamide in what I use has really made a difference with reducing the redness that my chin was getting. Just for some reason, as I was getting older, my chin just kind of went from getting a little pink to redder and redder and redder. So it's so wonderful not to have that be so bad anymore. So you're probably wondering, what does this cost? Well, your first Apostrophe appointment has a $20 fee, but they credit that back to you if you purchase your prescription. And the prescription for Tretinoin, for that mix that I was talking about, for a 3-month supply is $75. This is a really good price because even at the Costco pharmacy now, my insurance doesn't cover it, of course, because this is all cosmetic, right? If you go and have it filled even there, which I find is the least expensive place to get prescriptions that aren't covered by insurance, it's like about $100 for one tube. Now, don't even get me started on the Retinol, which again is a less potent version of Tretinoin that they're selling at the department stores and the drugstores. Don't even bother, because you're getting a inferior product. And I just, for the fun of it, before I filmed, Googled, top retinol creams, and they were pretty much between $80 and $110 on this list that Allure put out. And that isn't even the highest end ones I've seen. I've seen them in the hundreds of dollars. So why would you spend money? Maybe it smells nice, looks nice, whatever, has pretty packaging, but I would prefer to have what works. I used to stock up on Tretinoin when I would go to Mexico because it's very inexpensive there, but to me it's worth it to be able to have this custom formulation that has the niacinamide, and then also to have a relationship with a dermatologist that every 3 months I'll be checking in with. So, if anything changes with my skin, maybe they'll have recommendations. It's really cool too because the dermatologist, you can ask them questions, which C serums do you recommend, or, do you have a favorite cleanser, or, that they will give you recommendations. It's really great. And you can actually pick your dermatologist too. They have several you can choose from. I've loved mine. She's been fantastic. And it's really cool too because if anything new and exciting comes out, I'll find out about it. And speaking of new things, Apostrophe is about to come out with an azelaic acid formulation. It's a 15% azelaic acid formulation, and I looked into that too, and I'm super excited to try this one. This one is a 3-month supply for $90, which is actually a really good deal because prescription-wise, if you go get it, if you get the name brand, I think it's like almost $400 for 3 months, and if you get, other levels of it, it still is far more than $90 for a 3-month supply. What they say about azelaic acid is that it improves moderate to severe rosacea, a little redness I was talking about. It reduces inflammatory and non-inflammatory acne lesions. It lightens melasma and is skin brightening, and it reduces hyperpigmentation. And this is super. It's pregnancy safe and very easily tolerated. If you'd like to save $20 on your first Apostrophe purchase, use my affiliate code, Nicole. Some of you might have seen my video about Curology, another online dermatologist. I had a good experience there, and I thought it'd be interesting to kind of talk about the difference between Curology and Apostrophe. At Curology, my provider was a nurse practitioner. Nothing against nurse practitioners. They are awesome. I've gone to some amazing ones. In one case, I went to a doctor and I liked his nurse practitioner a lot more than him. She actually figured out something pretty major for me. But anyway, but at Apostrophe, you will always be talking to a board-certified dermatologist. The other difference is that in addition to prescribing topical acne and rosacea treatments, they can also prescribe oral medications, and Curology only does topical. Another difference is that with Curology, you can opt to purchase their moisturizer and cleanser that they sell. I tried and it was fine, and Apostrophe does not offer that. Also, Apostrophe addresses male pattern baldness. They can prescribe finasteride, which is something that I guess works really well with that, and they also will prescribe Latisse for longer and thicker eyelashes, and Curology doesn't address the lashes or the male pattern baldness. In case you haven't gone to an online dermatologist before, it's super easy. You basically go on, fill out some information, just like you would at the doctor. They're gonna ask some medical history, what prescriptions you're on, that type of a thing. And then depending, what you're seeing them for, if it's Latisse, I have a whole video about getting Latisse through Apostrophe too. You basically, without makeup on, of course, take a picture, look with your eyes shut, your eyes open, so they can look, at your eyes and your lashes and determine if you're a candidate for Latisse or not. For the Tretinoin formulation, and really, I guess, any of the skincare, you take one, left, straight on, right side. And they can also take additional pictures where you could zoom in, like let's say you have really bad breakouts here, or you've got super bad crow's feet there, or dark spots here, so you can add more pictures too. So you can really show them what is going on with your face. And then you submit that in with your $20 fee, and then they come back to you within 24 hours and they will have given you, okay, great, you are a candidate for XYZ, and maybe let you know kind of what your routine should be, and then you're on your merry way and you would pay for your prescription, and then you get it a few days later. It ships so fast. So it comes in a box like this, and here I'll show you. This is my current refill that I just got, if I can figure out how to open the box. And there it is. They have very cute packaging, and there's the Precious Potion. And you can see right here what my formulation is. There's also a little folder inside. There's a little postcard and information about the formula. And on here it's just telling me not to use it if I'm pregnant or at high risk of pregnancy, to use sunscreen, all the stuff we kind of already talked about. Don't put it in your eyes, ears, nostrils, or mouth. Avoid direct sun exposure, tanning beds, and sun lamps. And then about the side effects, you can have a little bit of peeling and stuff in the beginning, and to reduce usage if your skin becomes too irritated. It tells you how to apply it, how to store it, basically just put the lid on it and, store it at room temperature. Of course, away from excessive heat and moisture, just like you would with any medication. Let me go ahead and pump some out. That's what it looks like. Seriously, just a little cream like this. And when I have any extra left on my hands, I always do put it onto my neck or on the backs of my hands, because I figure, can't hurt to try to keep those areas that are always out in the sun also looking younger. When you're getting close to needing a refill, you'll get a little reminder email, so you can go back on there, you upload new pictures so they can make sure everything's cool with your skin, and then you would get your refill. Okay, let's look at my passport photos. All right, this first one I'm showing you was taken in September of 2000. Oh my gosh, this next one was taken in early 2011, so about 9 years ago. And this photo, luckily, I did find the other piece of the passport picture. They always give you two, but you don't need the two all the time. But anyway, because this one has like the little lines and stuff all over the passport. So that was me 9 years ago. I think Tretinoin really slowed down the aging process of my skin, and I'm forever grateful to that dermatologist who got me started on it. I don't remember his name. I feel so bad, or I'd give him a shout out and say thank you. I actually tried to Google and try to figure out who he was, and I couldn't find him. I feel like I would have recognized the name, but I didn't find him. So it's been so long. He's probably retired or moved by now, but huge shout out to him. Now YouTube should be suggesting a couple videos that you might like to go on and watch if you've got some more time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and it would be really helpful if you gave this video a like, left me a comment, and subscribe to my channel. Those things help YouTube know that this is a good quality video, and they'll push it out to more people, which really helps me out a lot. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and it's not goodbye, but so long until next time.